Let's talk about how to actually downsize 2 kitchen cupboards into one. I'm going to show you behind me on how, if I had half the space, I would combine these 2 cabinets. So let's get started. Here I have plates, bowls, ramekins, dishes, everyday items. By the way, they're located right above the dishwasher, which makes for really easy putting away, so keep that in mind when you're setting up a new kitchen. And then over here, I have glasses, tumblers, even some mason jars. So let's talk about how to combine these 2 things. First of all, I want to consider, how would I use my new space? Do I plan to eat dinners in this new space, or will I be just doing some breakfasts and some light meals? Chances are I'm just doing some lighter meals, so I don't need to plan for a lot of like heavy serving platters and things like that. So the top shelf is a really good place to start. Right now I have 2 big bowls and then 2 serving platters. If I don't plan to serve or host in my new space at all, I really don't need either of these. Now, one of these makes a good salad or mixing bowl, so I might choose to keep one, but the other ones I can get rid of. So let's start there. Okay. So those go away and suddenly I have some space. I also have a lot of ramekins in different sizes. Sometimes I like to serve fruit in these, or I use them if I make little chicken pot pies. But if I don't plan to do that in my new space, I might choose to use 4. That's enough. And I can choose 4 of the same color that match my dishes. Or if I think I might want some visual interest, maybe I keep these blue ones. So I'm going to keep these 4 blue ones, and the rest of these will go away. Okay. Then let's talk about bowls. These are really versatile. I scramble eggs in them. We eat cereal out of them. I love them. I think I want 6 because at any given point in time, there's a few in the dishwasher and I plan to use them. So that's important to me. I'm going to keep 6. They're nested here in the back, but the rest I can go away. Also, little bowls. I love these little glass bowls. They're great for, same thing I referred to for the ramekins, serving fruit and things like that. I love them because they nest, and they nest really tall and they're not wobbly. So I can, in theory, bring 8 of these in one footprint without any risk of feeling like it's going to topple out. I have these ice cream bowls. We don't really need these in my new space, so I'm going to leave them behind. Okay, look how much space I've created here. I still have all my plates, and actually I could even add it back in more bowls, and I've reduced my footprint here by half. So I'm going to pause there and move to my other cupboard. This is glasses. The same thing applies here with nesting. I love these glasses. These are Duralex. They nest really easily. I can stack 2 or even 3 and have more glasses in the same footprint. Keep in mind, if you stack these when they're hot out of the dishwasher, like any glasses, they can kind of get stuck together. So the trick, if you do that, is to put them in the refrigerator for a minute to cool them back down in order to separate them. You don't want to try and do it when they're hot because you might break them. But overall, these are a really good choice for juice glass. They're really durable. Also, I have the taller water glass, and these also can nest. I will often put 2 of these together in order to maintain the same footprint. So I'm going to consider that. And then I have a lot of random tumblers. I like a couple of these. They're kind of cute, but I really don't need, oh gosh, I have 12. So I'm going to choose my 4 favorite, knowing that if someone comes over for a cocktail, that these would be a really good choice. And all these are going to move up into this cabinet here in a minute. Now, I love having some plastic glasses if I want to take an iced tea in the car or something. So that's a good option, but I have 8 and I really don't use that many. So I'm going to pick 2, and I'm going to make sure I have lids because I always like to have a lid on it, and I'll bring those with me. Notice I'm pulling out of this cabinet everything that I want to keep, and I'm going to put it in this cabinet so that I am certain that I can comfortably reach everything and I've minimized my footprint. This is kind of a test before it goes into a moving box. Do I actually feel comfortable with what I have? And I can actually try this out in my home before I move. I can pretend this stuff has gone away and just live with this for, a month. And if that is enough and I don't need to go back to this cabinet, then I've successfully downsized. So keep that as an idea. So I'm pulling out the things I want in order to put up there, and the things I do not want are going here. I also have a couple of these mason jars that have plastic lids. They're so good for putting things in the refrigerator. I love storing carrot sticks and stuff in here. So I'm going to bring 4 of these because these act as a Tupperware to me. There's a bunch of odds and ends glasses in the back that I don't want. I never use them. I don't even want to think about them. So I'm not going to go through them. I'm just going to leave them behind. I am going to bring a few of these stemless wine glasses because when I have people over and I serve them wine, sometimes this just feels a little more casual than a wine glass with a stem. So I have some white ones and some red ones. I don't think anyone's real particular. They'll gladly drink red wine out of a white wine glass. So I'm going to go with the one that's a little more petite in your hand so that the women I'm serving wine to feel like they have a good grip on it. So I'm going to pick 2 of those. You might decide 4 is the right number for you. You decide. Okay, then I do kind of a once over. I don't need my insulated wine tumblers anymore, but if I used those often, then they would certainly make the cut. I can leave behind a lot of these highball glasses. And some of these, I use this for a smoothie every once in a while. They're really good for just, sturdy tumblers. I think I'll bring 2 of these if I have room. Okay, so I've selected what I think I want out of this cabinet. I'm going to close it up and go back to this space. Now, I need to be able to make space in here so that it feels comfortable. And I want to make sure I can reach everything because I don't want everyday items up on a top shelf where I have to reach. It's not great for your posture. It's not great for your back. I'm going to use a step stool here because I am going to take some of these items that I identified as, yes, I like them, but I may not use them every day. These are going to go up on the top shelf. And I can sort of reach without a step stool, but it's always safest to be sturdy. And I actually have some extra ramekins tucked in the back there. So those will come out. I've already chosen the ones I want. Now I want to make sure that I can reach my everyday glasses. So I'm going to put these here. And I didn't actually grab enough. We're going to do 6 of those. And then 6 juice glasses. When I'm thinking about what to put back in this cabinet, I'm thinking about footprints. So you'll notice that as of right now, I have not removed any of my dining plates. It doesn't really matter if I do. I don't need 12 of them, but they're going to take up the same amount of space regardless. So I'm not worried about that quite yet. I'm putting these glasses back in. Okay, I have 1 row here of my water glasses. Maybe I stagger them a little. I have my juice glasses here. I know I don't use these smoothie glasses as often, so I'm comfortable putting them up on top. I do want this bowl, so that's going up there. And then my travel cups can go up on top. From there, these don't stack, so I really want to be careful about how I put them in here, and I want to put single glasses side by side. Now I'm getting a little crowded with these bowls, and I'm thinking I don't love the idea of pulling out bowls with these cocktail glasses right here. So what I think I'm going to do instead is line the cocktail glasses up behind. I'm fine if I don't reach them often. I know they're back there. I'd rather have access to these bowls on a daily basis. So I'm going to do this instead. And then I might tuck these wine glasses here on the side. Again, I don't need access to them every day. I want to make sure I can reach these bowls without a problem. Then I have these clear glass bowls instead, and I'm going to put them down here. I know they nest. I know they'll fit nicely, and there we go. And I have one ramekin here I've got to tuck up on top. Oh, that's too tall. Let's see. We'll shift it out a bit, and it gets kind of cozy in here. But keep in mind that, like I said, the footprint is the most important part when you're downsizing. You want to make sure that you have the space for it, but you can go vertically. So look, we've just consolidated 2 cabinets into one. I've got everything I need in order to live a simpler dining experience, but I know that I have the things I need to serve myself in my kitchen.